If you are over 70, or if you love someone who is, what I am about to share with you in the next few minutes could change the way you look at your own body forever. There are 7 quiet signals that the human body sends out after the age of 70. Signals so subtle that most people mistake them for just getting old. A little more tiredness after a walk, a little less grip when opening a jar, a little change in the color of a bruise. Nothing dramatic, nothing that sends anyone rushing to a hospital. And that is exactly why these 7 signs are so dangerous. They do not shout, they whisper. And by the time most families notice the whisper has grown into a full sentence, months or even years have already slipped by. Today, I am going to walk you through each of these 7 warning signs, one by one, in plain language, so that you know exactly what your body might already be trying to tell you, or what an aging parent's body might be trying to tell them. Stay with me until the very end, because the 7th sign is the one almost nobody talks about, and it is often the most overlooked of them all. Before we go further, a quick but important note. This video is created for general educational and informational purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Please consult a qualified physician or healthcare provider regarding any health concerns, symptoms, or before making any changes related to your health or the health of a loved one. Now let's begin. Main body. The first silent sign is unexplained weight loss. After 70, the body naturally changes shape a little. Muscle softens, appetite shifts, and metabolism slows down. This is normal. What is not normal is losing weight without trying. If a person who has weighed roughly the same for years suddenly drops 5% of their body weight within 6 to 12 months, without dieting, without increasing exercise, without any deliberate change in habits, this is a signal worth paying attention to. The reasons behind this kind of weight loss can range from simple things like difficulty chewing or swallowing, a change in taste due to medication, or mild depression that quietly reduces appetite, to deeper issues involving the thyroid, the digestive system, or other internal processes that need a doctor's attention. The tricky part is that weight loss after 70 is often celebrated by people around the person. Friends and family say things like, "You're looking slimmer," or "You've lost your belly," and the comment is taken as a compliment rather than a clue. The body in this case is not trying to look better. It may be trying to tell you that it is struggling to hold on to its reserves. And that is a very different story than the one being celebrated at the dinner table. The second silent sign is a change in walking pattern, posture, or balance. This one is so gradual that even the person experiencing it often does not notice it themselves. It might start as a slightly wider stance when standing, or holding onto furniture while moving from one room to another, or taking shorter steps than before. Family members sometimes notice it first, often describing it as, "Dad walks differently now," or "Mom seems more careful on the stairs." This change in gait is not just about looking older. The way a person walks is closely connected to the nervous system, the inner ear, vision, and muscle strength working together in coordination. When that coordination starts to slip, even slightly, it can be an early signal of issues ranging from vitamin deficiencies, particularly vitamin B12, to early circulation problems or changes within the nervous system itself. A wobble that seems harmless today is often the same wobble that, 18 months from now, turns into a fall. And after the age of 70, a single fall can change the entire trajectory of someone's health, independence, and quality of life. Watching for these small shifts in balance early gives families a chance to act long before that fall ever happens. The third silent sign is a change in handwriting, grip strength, or fine motor coordination. This might sound like a strange thing to watch for, but it carries enormous weight, quite literally. If someone who always had neat, confident handwriting starts writing smaller, shakier, or more cramped letters, this is not just getting older. Handwriting requires a precise, coordinated dance between the brain, the nerves running down the arm, and the small muscles of the hand. When that dance starts to falter, It can be one of the earliest visible clues of nervous system changes. Similarly, a noticeably weaker grip, struggling to open a jar that used to be easy, or dropping objects more often than before, can point toward muscle loss, nerve compression, or in some cases, early signs of conditions that affect movement and coordination. The reason this sign goes unnoticed for so long is that people quietly adapt around it. They switch to using both hands to open things. They start writing less. They ask someone else to do the fiddly tasks. The adaptation hides the decline, and the decline keeps moving forward underneath the surface. Now, before we move into the fourth sign, and trust me, this next one might be the most important one in this entire video, I want to ask you something simple. If you find this video valuable, if even one of these signs made you pause and think of someone you love, please take a moment right now to hit that subscribe button. This channel exists for one reason only, to help you and your family recognize what truly matters about your health before it becomes an emergency. Subscribing costs you nothing, but it means you will never miss the next video that could genuinely protect someone you care about. Now let's continue. The fourth silent sign is a subtle shift in memory or thinking that goes beyond normal forgetfulness. Everyone misplaces their keys sometimes. Everyone walks into a room and briefly forgets why they went in there. This is completely normal, and it happens at every age, not just after 70. What is different, and what deserves attention, is when forgetfulness starts to interfere with daily function. Forgetting the names of close family members occasionally. Repeating the exact same question multiple times within a short conversation. Struggling to follow a recipe that has been made for 40 years. Or getting confused about the day, the season, or familiar routes while driving. These are different in nature from ordinary forgetfulness. The challenge here is that families often dismiss these moments individually. Oh, she's always been a bit scattered. He's just tired today. Each moment on its own seems explainable. But when these moments are placed side by side over a period of months, a pattern often emerges that, individually, none of them revealed. Recognizing the difference between normal aging forgetfulness and a meaningful shift in cognitive function is one of the most valuable things a family can learn to observe, simply by paying closer attention and gently keeping track of these moments over time. The fifth silent sign involves the skin, specifically slower healing, unusual bruising, or changes in skin texture. After 70, skin naturally becomes thinner and more fragile, and this alone can explain some bruising. But there is a meaningful difference between the occasional bruise from bumping into a table and bruises that appear seemingly out of nowhere, in unusual places like the torso or the back, or wounds that take significantly longer to heal than they used to. Skin is often called a window into the body's internal state, and for good reason. Thinning skin combined with unexplained bruising can be connected to changes in blood vessels, certain medications including blood thinners, nutritional deficiencies, or in some cases, changes within the blood itself. Slow healing wounds, particularly on the legs or feet, deserve particular attention, because they can be an early indicator of circulation issues. The skin rarely lies. It simply needs someone willing to look closely and ask the right questions when something doesn't look quite the way it used to. The sixth silent sign is a change in sleep patterns that goes beyond simply sleeping less as you get older. It is true that sleep architecture changes with age, often becoming lighter and more fragmented. However, there is a difference between this natural shift and more concerning patterns, such as excessive daytime sleepiness despite a full night's rest, sudden and pronounced snoring accompanied by gasping or pauses in breathing during sleep, or a complete reversal of someone's natural sleep-wake rhythm, where a person who was always an early riser suddenly stays up most of the night and sleeps through the day. These changes are not simply quirks of personality shifting with age. They can be connected to breathing irregularities during sleep, changes in heart function, or shifts within the brain's own internal clock. Sleep is one of the body's most honest indicators of overall health, because it is one of the few processes the conscious mind cannot easily control or disguise. When sleep changes dramatically and persistently, the body is often signaling that something underneath the surface deserves a closer look. And now, we arrive at the seventh silent sign, the one I promised you at the very beginning, the one that is talked about the least and yet may carry some of the most significant weight of all. The seventh sign is unexplained breathlessness or unusual fatigue during activities that used to feel completely effortless. This is different from simply feeling more tired in general, which can happen for countless ordinary reasons. This is specifically about a noticeable gap between effort and expectation. Climbing the same flight of stairs that has always felt easy and suddenly needing to pause halfway up. Walking to the mailbox and feeling unexpectedly winded. Feeling unusually exhausted after light household activities that were never tiring before. The reason this sign is so often missed is that it tends to be explained away with phrases like, "I'm just not as young as I used to be." And while that phrase is technically true for everyone, it can also become a convenient cover for something the body is actively trying to flag. This kind of breathlessness and fatigue can be connected to the heart, the lungs, blood count, or even gradual changes in muscle conditioning. And because it develops slowly, it is incredibly easy to adjust your life around it without ever questioning why the adjustment became necessary in the first place. People simply start taking the stairs more slowly. They rest more often during errands. They quietly reduce their own activity level to match their new normal, without ever stopping to ask whether that new normal is something the body has chosen out of necessity, or something worth understanding and addressing. What makes all 7 of these signs so significant is not any single one of them in isolation. It is the pattern that emerges when you start paying attention to more than one at the same time. A person who is walking slightly differently, sleeping a little oddly, and feeling unusually breathless on the stairs is not describing 3 separate, unrelated annoyances of getting older. They may be describing a single connected story that the body has been quietly narrating for months. The single greatest gift you can give to an aging parent, a grandparent, or even to your own future self is simply the habit of paying closer attention, not panicking, not assuming the worst. Simply noticing and treating each of these 7 signs not as something to dismiss with the phrase, "that's just old age," but as information worth discussing with a healthcare provider who can look at the full picture with proper medical context. Aging itself is not the enemy here. Aging is simply a part of life, something to be respected and even honored. What matters is the difference between aging well, with awareness and attentiveness, and aging while silently missing the signals that could have made a meaningful difference if caught a little earlier. The body, even after 70, even after 80 or 90, is remarkably good at communicating when something is wrong. It simply tends to communicate quietly rather than loudly, through whispers rather than alarms. Learning to listen to those whispers in yourself or in someone you love is one of the most powerful forms of care that exists. Closing/standalone subscribe request. If this video gave you even one moment of clarity today, one thing to watch for, one conversation to have with a parent or a grandparent, then it has done exactly what it was meant to do. But here is the truth. There is so much more your body is trying to tell you. Signals connected to the heart, the brain, the gut, and beyond. Things most people never learn until it is far too late. This channel was built to change that, to give you and your family the knowledge to recognize these signals while there is still time to act on them. So if you found value in today's video, do not just watch and scroll away. Hit that subscribe button right now, turn on notifications, and become part of a community that takes aging seriously, with knowledge instead of fear. Share this video with someone over 70 in your life, or with someone who loves them, because the words you just heard might be exactly what they need to hear today. Subscribe now, because the next video could be the one that protects someone you love. A final reminder. The information shared in this video is intended for general educational purposes only, and should not be considered medical advice. Always consult a licensed physician or qualified healthcare professional for any health concerns, symptoms, or before making decisions about your health or the health of a family member. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourself, and take care of the people you love.